Oh hi, my nose is massive. It's back, lads. Do you want the best player on the game? I said, do you want the best player on the game? Beno Ronaldo, get D-Money. Get all the D-Monies. So if you guys want the best place to buy your coins on the internet, then go over to u7buy.com, use code VIZA at checkout for a cheeky little discount, guys. And yeah, with that said, enjoy the video. Hi, how you doing? You doing good? That's fantastic. Now, I would be normally upbeat, but I literally just recorded this video with me and Adriano. Yes, Adriano, the guy who's been dead for a year. He did a video literally like this, but for some reason, he didn't record his audio. So I've got to do this again. And Adriano is dead again, so that's our only chance we may see him for the next year. So I tried. Today's video, I'm going to be going through the best managers in the Premier League as of right now. My honest and humble opinion about managers. If you do disagree, which you will, because why wouldn't you? Because opinions are not in it. Then let me know down below in the comments. But please, if you can, refrain from trying to murder me, really. And if you guys really want me to try and do a video with me and Adriano, let's hit 2,000 likes and I'll try and get that done. You know, Adriano is 38 years of age. He's got, 7 kids. He doesn't have much spare time, right? You know. So I've got a list of every single current Premier League manager other than one, and that is Manuel Pellegrini is, of course, already sacked by West Ham. I'm not going to count him, but let's say he's David Moyes and he'd be put into, and to be fair, I do think he is quite overrated now. So, and just to say, this is my opinion on managers in the last 3 or 4 years of what I think they've done, and also, if we took them out of their current team, how would they perform for other teams? How have they dealt with finances? How much help have they received? Have they overperformed? Are they underperformed? Just simple stuff like that. So let's start off and make a point here, which will be Jose Mourinho at Spurs. I'm not going to rate him based on what he did from Chelsea 10 plus years ago or Porto 15 years ago. I'm going to rank him based on the last 5 years for pretty much all these managers, if they have been in management for longer than 5 years, right? So Jose Mourinho at Spurs was at Man U, was at Man United, and I'm going to say, honestly, in the last recent years, he's been nothing but just good. Other than the 16-17 year when Man United won a Europa League, as well as the FA Cup, I believe, he's still a good manager, okay? I'm not saying he's awful. I just think that right now, he's just good. I do think that most of his tactics is a bit outdated right now. From what we've seen in the last 4 or 5 years, it is very sort of negative football, and it's fine if you do get the results, but he's not really getting that. So honestly, I'm saying Jose Mourinho in the last 5 years, I'm saying he's just been a good manager. He should be in great, and he should be probably in world class from what he has done. But in the last 5 years, as what I'm basing this on, I don't think he has overperformed. And give me maybe next year, give him one full summer window at Spurs, and maybe I'll think he's in great. Next up, I'm going to be going for Eddie Howe at Bournemouth. Currently in a drop zone in BPL, and I do think that they probably maybe go down this year. I don't think Bournemouth are that bad of a side. So for that reason alone, he can't be any higher than average. Yes, a couple of years ago, he brought them up from League One, Championship, Premier League, and everyone was saying, you know what, Eddie Howe's next big thing, he should be at Arsenal. But the thing is, I have an issue with him is that he used to also manage Burnley, and his main thing is that he's too much of a nice guy. The fact of the matter is, I don't think that he's a very good manager. I don't think he's that good. He's got some decent tactics. I don't think he's fantastic at defending though. Like, even at Burnley, we were very poor in the back. I always feel like Bournemouth are never solid at the back, really. So for that reason alone, if you can never sort out your defense, then that is a massive issue for me. Up next, let's go with big man Frank Lampard at Chelsea. And I'm going to say, with the job he's done so far, I think he's done good. I don't think it's great, but he has done better than what I thought that he would. Most people thought because of the transfer ban, and Chelsea has a pretty inexperienced side, a pretty young side, your Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, and defense is pretty either old or not that fantastic. I would say that he's done a pretty good job, honestly. And he could be in great in the future, but as of right now, I feel like he needs a bit more time to be put in a great conversation. And it may be a bit unfair on him because it is his first season, but I do think that Frank Lampard, he can be a great manager. I have seen some good things from him, and I think with a better defense, some great signings, Timo Werner, Ziyech, maybe even Havertz maybe coming as well. He's got some great signings in. He's done really well with a team of pretty much inexperienced players. I'll say he's in good, but could be in great in the future. Give it another year. Now, I'm going to put in my first great manager, and this I don't think anyone can possibly say no to, and that is obviously Chris Wilder. If you give me anything saying, oh my god, Chris Wilder above Jose Mourinho, or Frank Lampard, oh my god, no way. I honestly don't think that really a very, very small margin of managers can do the same job he's done with the players that he has. Let's be real here, most of you guys thought that they were going to go down early this year. I honestly thought they would stay up because I knew that there was a very structured side, well structured, very hard working, also resilient. I go back to my predictions. I'm pretty sure I put Sheffield United to stay up. I thought they'll survive because I see Sheffield United just like a Burnley. I've not a squad that looks like it has a lot of quality, but everyone understands their jobs, they're well drilled, and everyone puts their heart on their sleeve and fights for the badge. And that's what he's done to an absolute T. And he's overachieved in every single possible way that I could actually think of. People thought it'd be mental if they stayed up. Never mind be, what are they now, 8th place or something? They've not been below 10th place since October. They've not been below 10th place since October. Sheffield United, bro. Fantastic manager for doing what he's done so far. So Chris Wilder, got all respects for me, man. Now let's go for a poor manager. And for me, you may disagree, but I want to put Falk here. I don't think he's a manager. I don't think he is, because he has got some good footballing brain to it. Because Norwich has played some fantastic football at times this year. It's just, for me, the inexperience of his players. You know, look at the defense, man. Matt Aaron's, he's like 21 or something, 20, isn't he? He's very young. 2000, he's like 20 years of age. Very young. Ben Godfrey, very young. Jamal Lewis, very young. Tim Closer, the only experienced man that they have in their entire defense, and he's been injured most of the year. Like, defensively, it's a very, very poor team because they're all inexperienced. And for me, trust me, I'm a Burnley fan. I know how important experience is in the BPL, and especially in defense, and they didn't have that. And I said straight away that they are going to go down this year. There is some players which I think are actually not that bad, and he doesn't play them. For example, on the bench, they've got people like, Cantwell's injured and that, but people like Vranic, try and find a tweet of them announcing a new team for the game, an hour before the game, right? I guarantee the entirety of the comments are in raptures because Vranic ain't playing. So Fabrizio Zone is poor, but I wouldn't say I mean, these are the most obvious ones. Jurgen Klopp, world class. Yeah, there's not a single contest here. By far the most consistent manager that I've seen in recent years. In the last 2 years, pretty much, he's lost 3 Premier League games. One against City away, one against Watford away, which is a bit of a shame. I don't think they should have lost that game, really. Like, that's mental. And I'm also going to put Pep Guardiola as well at world class. But I want to say, if I would ever have Klopp or Pep Guardiola, I would say, honestly, honest to God here, Jurgen Klopp. Because the players that he's turned into unreal world-class players, which wasn't before they joined Liverpool, is incredible. Who would think that James Milner would still be a baller now? Who would think that Robertson from Hull would be players now? Who would think that Trent for the system would be as good as he is now? Wijnaldum got dropped, got relegated with Newcastle, now a very good player. Sadio Mane, people knew that he was a good player at Southampton, but not as good as what he is now. And Mohamed Salah, he was like a Pepe, it was like a Pulisic. He came from Roma, and he wasn't that good, and he's turned them all into world-class players in his system. I'd rather have Jurgen Klopp personally. So for me, I would say Jurgen Klopp over Pep Guardiola. But that's no discredit to Pep Guardiola. He's still an unreal manager, and he's honestly just a genius. But yeah, that's my thoughts on those two. I'm going to put Roy Hodgson in, I want to say average, but part of me also wants to say good. Like, the team that he's had at Palace, I actually thought that Palace were, like, down this year. I remember they had, like, 1 left back or something. Like, a very, like, small team. And when I look at their lineup, I don't think this is a fantastic team. I don't really think that, man, honestly. Dan, Joe Ward, Van Aanholt, Gary Cahill, like, midfielders also, it's decent. Milivojevic I like a lot. You know what, man? People don't think I like Brighton, but I actually kind of like him, at a stage. So, Potter, I'll put him in good. I think he's done quite good this year. I think he's slightly overachieved, because I honestly thought Brighton would go down this year. So you know what? I'll put him in good. Next up, let's go with the big man, the big name himself, Ancelotti, which I think with Everton, he's done similar to a Frank Lampard. I'm putting him in good. But, before Everton fans shout at me, not had enough time yet. So I do think it's unfair to say that he's done a bad job or like a good job. But I'll say with what he's done so far with Everton, he's got some sort of achievement. So it just kind of feels wrong seeing Ancelotti next to Graham Potter. It does feel wrong. it does. You know what? I'm gonna say he's in great before you shoot me. Okay, I'll put him in great because I've just realised he's only lost 4 games since he joined, and they were all against top 6 sides away from home. City, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Spurs. So I'm going to say, since then, he's not lost any other games. I'll give him his credit. Great manager. Okay, now next up will be the bouncer himself, Nigel Pearson, the ostrich. And I'll say that he's done a pretty... Honestly, he's been doing an okay job at Watford because they were absolutely atrocious, man, before he joined. I think he joined around December again. And since then, they beat Man U at home, they drew, they won, and then they won again. They went on an incredible win game, and then they lost away at Villa. And that was a big, big loss for them. That really hurt them. And since then, they never really recovered. They beat Liverpool, though. I don't know how. I really don't. They beat, they lost to Burnley again. I don't want to put him in the same group as Farke. So I'm going to say I'll say Roy Hodgson on the top of average, Eddie Howe in the middle, and Pearson down below. But I do think he's done a decent job so far. Up next, let's do a big club here. Let's go for Arsenal. Mikel Arteta. What's my thoughts about him? I do feel like it's a bit too soon. He joined quite late on. I don't know when, like January, I think. I think it was Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth away was his first game. Now, Arsenal is, of course, in an absolute state. Let's be real here. And saying that, since Bournemouth, they've only lost 2 games. They lost against Chelsea at home, which is kind of bad. And then they also lost to Brighton, which is really bad. And City, but that's fine, okay? So he's lost 3 games. Brighton away is a massive loss. But since then, I mean... A lot of draws, they shouldn't be drawing against Sheffield United. They also drew against Burnley. I do like Arteta. I do like him. I think that he's a fantastic coach. It now depends on if he's a fantastic manager. And I do like him because he has done some fantastic work with the likes of Saka, which is coming for the system, and he's done really good with them, man. So I want to say Arteta. I want to say he's done a good job so far. If Arteta manages somehow to get them 5th place and to get European football, then I'll be very, very impressed, and I will put him in great. Let's go with Dean Smith, Aston Villa. It's pretty easy. He's in poor. They brought in a lot of players from all over the world, it seemed like. Well, mainly in Europe, I guess. But a lot of them wasn't very experienced in the top level of the Premier League. There's a few guys in, Genk from Belgium, but it's not exactly comparable. And I just don't think he's really mixed them well together. I don't think they have a system, which is a shame because I do actually like Villa. Like, I really hope they do. I really hope that they do stay up, but I kind of can't see it happening, man. So for me, he's just not managed an actual system that works. And if you can't do a system in Premier League that works, then you're just in poor for me, man. Next up, let's go with Southampton. And I do think he's actually pretty good at Southampton. Other than the 9-0 loss, I still can't believe they lost 9-0, but they've been great since the restart. They were pretty poor. I don't know what happened, man. I don't know why they were so bad. But eventually, they got their act together. You never lose 9-0. And for that reason alone, I can't put him any higher than average. I'm sorry. I can't have a manager in good when they've lost 9-0 at home. From what he's done so far, I'll say he's got the job done quite well, and he's an average. Now, 5 more left. Brendan Rodgers, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Nuno, Sean Dyche, and Steve Bruce. I'm going to go with Brendan Rodgers up next. And I want to say that he's in fact a great manager. We all knew that Leicester had a pretty nice team, but no one would think they'll be doing this good. Now, they are kind of falling for a bit now. Hopefully, for their sake, that they've sorted themselves out. But look at this, man. Like, look at this win of form. Win, win, loss, win, loss at Liverpool. Then win, 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 win. And I think it's unfair to base, like, they have kind of dropped off near the end, but I think that's because of just fitness levels. Like, they've not got an incredible second team, a few injuries, suspensions, and then they're not as quality. But with players which he has, which are can do a job, and they're not insane. Like James Maddison is a good player, but I don't think he's a first, second place player, and he's playing like that. If it wasn't for this kind of like run of games near the end, which he kind of dropped off a bit, I would say he's world class. I would say that he's in front of Chris Wilder, and Wilder's like currently 4th place. Now, let's go with a lower team, and let's go with Newcastle. And you know what? Steve Bruce, he's done a good job. I'm putting him in good. Honestly, you may think I'm going crazy, but Steve Bruce, with his current team, right, there's no reason why they should be comfortably safe. Newcastle, and you can ask any Newcastle fan or all 14. Ask any Geordie. I mean, I like Newcastle a lot. I lived up there for 2 years. They've not lost in ages, bro. Like, that is fantastic from Newcastle, man. So say what you want, but most people thought that Newcastle were finished before the season started. And you know what? You'll think he's a bit of a meme, but he's actually done a class job. So for me, Steve Bruce, he's a pretty good manager. For me, Nuno, he just isn't great. He just is, like, a fantastic team to watch as well. And, hey, now you may say, yeah, but Wolves only 6th place, but keep this in mind, they had a very, very poor run of form at the start, and that was for me purely because of the Europa League, because they played qualifiers, they played a lot more games at the start, therefore a lot of players could be, kind of off fitness. Honestly, I think that they could be in top 4, and they've got a great team, and that's all because of the system that he's made. Honestly, I want to say world class. To go from the Championship and just to ease yourself into Premier League so easily is actually unbelievable. So for me, I kind of want to say he's in world class for what he's done. And you know what? I'm going to say world class. Honestly, I want to say world class. I like him a lot. I like him a lot, man. I think that he could easily manage a top 6 club. He's got the stature, he's got the play style, he's got the man management, he's got the charisma that you need. So for me, I honestly think he's a world-class manager. You may say, oh my god, how can Ancelotti be great but Nuno in world-class? Once Ancelotti starts challenging for Europe, like what Nuno's done, then I will change my mind. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. I don't know, man. At first, honestly, if you asked me this question 6 months ago, I would say, honestly, he's kind of average, but he has done a lot better recently, and of course Bruno Fernandes has helped him a lot, and maybe it's just the fact that he didn't have the right players to do the system. He had a very, very poor start, but since then they have been decent, but the loss at home against Burnley, I mean, that hurts. But hey, since that loss against Burnley, they've been a very consistent side. They beat Chelsea away. They in fact beat City at home. They in fact drew against Spurs away. And they've been very, very good recently. Martial, Greenwood, Rashford, Bruno. And if I was a Man U fan, I'd be very, very excited for the future. They should not lose any more games. Right now, I would say that he's in good. He had a very, very poor start, and with the involvement of Bruno Fernandes, that is massively changed the football club. And then last but not least, Sean Dyche at the back, and I mean, you know where I want to put him. You know that I want to put him as great. For consistency over so many years, with by far the lowest wage budget in the league, a top 3 lowest wage budget, with absolutely minimal transfer budget as well, with players which are literally only ever signed from the Championship or old 33-year-olds from Stoke City, Peter Crouch and Phil Barsley and Eric Peters. Like, we have been given literally nothing, and this guy has still kept us into somehow in a European battle, because 8th place this year could mean Europe and 2 points behind Spurs. Like, we could actually still make it into Europe, and it is incredible. You may laugh at me, right? You may say, oh my, Sean Dyche, he plays terrible football. He does what he has to do to get wins, and with our club, let's be honest here, and I'm a Burnley fan, we should not be anywhere near challenging for Europe again, okay? And we've already qualified for Europe 2 years ago. 2 years ago, man. Don't forget what he did, that we came 7th place with a team with Ashley Barnes as our main striker, okay? We should not be ever in Europe with our team and our finances, and we still are consistent. Last year was a bit poor. I think the Europa League didn't help us, and the fact that Nick Pope was also injured, and Joe Hart to come in really needs more respect, man. And you may not think so, because he may play anti-football and he may not play fast attacking play. We've not got the money for that. We've not. We actually don't. Most of the players all come from the Championship. Keeping this in mind right now, we've actually only lost 1 game, which was City away, in our last 10 games. Actually, maybe last 11 games. We are currently the 3rd or 4th most informed team in the entire Premier League. Burnley. And there you go. That is my honest opinion on managers in the last couple of years. People will disagree. By the way, Pellegrini is also David Moyes. Keep that in mind. But yeah, that's my opinion. You may think I'm incorrect. I think that's how I rate them. So there you go. That is my honest opinion. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. And yeah, lads, thank you all for watching. My name is Viz. I'll see you next time.